Obviously, first things first, you look fantastic. Let me ask you, why LaCroix? Why do you love this drink? You're just gonna play hardball, like not a lot of talking, Sam? Is this part of your scripts where you get me to do all the talking and like talk myself into this somehow? All right, I've had enough. All right, you guys, I was actually just playing around because Sam's little silent service game that he plays here is actually something very real, and who better to explain it than Sam himself? Sam's been off on the side. Come on back over here, Sam. And listen, Sam, I just wanted to make fun of this because the fact is it's actually real, right? When you go through your scripts, one of the things people learn is how to be able to do phone calls, and one of the best techniques is this silence approach that you use. Would you mind sharing more about it?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's totally the opposite way of how most people teach people how to do sales. You know, a lot of people think that sales is just being all hyped up, aggressive, like screaming at people over the phone, and that's totally not what sales is about. And it's a total misconception. So really what sales is about is just thoroughly understanding somebody's problem and then seeing if you can help them with your solution, and if so, just getting them to sign up. And the key really is, with sales calls, is to let the other person speak. It's really like, the best way I can describe it is it's like judo. So in judo, you never meet force with force, and you never exert force yourself. You use the other person's force so that you can, defeat them. And with sales calls, like, you want to use the other person to bring themselves to the finish line. You don't want to brute force it or anything like that. And to do that, you really just need to be you need to be silent. You need to ask a question, let them respond, and never talk over the top of them, ever, because that totally moves their train of thought, and you want to carefully trace their train of thought from the start all the way to the end and keep it going along a specific line. And it's, really good sales calls. It'll be 99% the prospect talking and only about 1% the salesperson talking. And what's crazy is that's the exact opposite thing that most people believe. And then another thing that most people mess up, and I teach this in the sales script. So we give this sales script to all of our customers of Consulting Accelerator, and it's called the Alchemic Conversion Script. And it basically shows you step by step how to sell someone over the phone, even if you've never sold someone ever before in your entire life. And one of the steps in here that a lot of people mess up is when you tell someone the price. So a lot of the time someone will say what the price is, and then they'll wait a little bit, and then they can't handle the silence or the pressure, so then they just start rambling about something. And that removes all the pressure off of the person, and now they're thinking about something else. So after you say the price, you just want to remain deadly silent. And sometimes the pressure is so much, you've got to hit that mute button, because you can't handle it. You've kind of got to go, or something like that. But you must remain silent. The first person to talk loses. And sometimes that can go for a minute, 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. Like, what's the longest you've ever gone, do you think, silence?
Probably 2 minutes.
You've gone a full 2 minutes just silent.
Yeah. It was very hard to do, and I've had a lot of practice. But, it's someone's processing. They're in their mind at that moment, they're thinking, how much is in this account? How much is in the PayPal? What expenses have I got coming up? Like, can I fit this in around that? Can I do this around that? What is my schedule looking like? Their brain is going nuts, trying to figure out how they can do this. And if you talk at that moment, poof, that whole focus, that whole train of thought that's going on through their brain is gone. And it's so crucial that you let them sit in that spot and you let their brain process until they say, all right, let's do it, or they ask you the next question.
Yeah, you know what I love about this is that people, ourselves, we often fail, whereas systems often succeed. So you've actually created literally scripts. And what I like about what you're saying is that, like, a total newbie, a total beginner, they think they've got to be this like really slick salesperson. They think they've got to have all these lines and overcome all these objections, when really they've just got to be good at reading a script and sticking to it and just asking a question and then just being silent and letting the prospect do all the selling themselves, which actually makes it a level playing field where literally like anybody could succeed on their own if they just follow your scripts. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to create this because I'm an introvert and I have problems talking to people. So I'm like the last person who's supposed to sell anything, right? And so I was terrified of cold calling and all of these things. So for me to actually be able to sell, I had to turn it into a system and a process that I could follow with mathematical precision. So what I did is I recorded my sales calls, all of them. I have thousands of these recordings. And then I not only recorded them, but I transcribed them. And after the calls, I'd study them. I'd learn, why did that call fail? Why did that call go well? And over time, I realized the patterns and the trends in things to say, things not to say, when to move your voice up or down, when to pause, when to remain silent, all of this stuff. And after doing thousands of them and accumulating all of that data, you can see the patterns and then you can build a machine. I mean, really, this is like words to read, but really it is a machine because it's designed to take someone from a total stranger to a paying client who trusts you by just following a process.
Yeah, I love it. I love any time that there's a step-by-step system. So how accurate was it? So before you came in, you had a chance to hear me talking to this statue. I don't even know what the name is of the statue, and the straws and the eyes with laser focus. How accurate would you say that it was actually having that laser focus and having that silent treatment to how you actually are?
It's pretty damn accurate. Like, really, it's all about putting every ounce of attention you've got on them. So that's like the laser focus thing. You don't want to be distracted at anything else, because people notice it when you give them your full undivided attention. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you've got to remember it's all about them. This isn't your time to get your opinions out, or this isn't your time to talk about yourself. This is about them. This is their time. So remaining silent allows them to speak and share and get it all off their plate, and for you to be a really good listener. And really the best way I can describe it is, the best way to sell is like a doctor. And that really is, doctors don't sell at all. They diagnose. So if you went into a doctor's office and you went in and you had a broken leg, and the first thing the doctor did when you went into his office was he just started trying to pitch you all of these drugs. You'd be like, what the hell is going on here, right? And if you bought those drugs and took them, there's a high chance you're going to die or your broken leg's going to not fix, and the doctor will go to jail for that. And in the medical profession, prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. But in business, people think it's not. So, if you're trying to sell someone your stuff before diagnosing their problem, then that is malpractice. So really, a sales call is about understanding their problem, diagnosing them, and then writing them the right prescription. And sometimes that means that you can't help them because you don't have something you can help them with. And that's totally fine. You just let them go, and you just focus on selling to the people who truly need your services and getting it done.
Yeah, I absolutely love this process, because I love anything where a brand new beginner, like a newbie, can follow a step-by-step system, kind of like an A to Z blueprint, and actually learn how to do this. And I love that you don't already have to have years of sales experience to be able to get on the phone, follow a script, and just ask questions. And for people that haven't yet seen the free training with us, I know you cover a lot on this. In fact, you show pretty much from start to finish your system of exactly what you do, how to be able to get customers contacting you, filling out forms, wanting to book time with you, and then how to be able to ask them questions, and how to be able to convert those strangers into customers, literally for $2,000 customers, $5,000 customers, on and on and on. And so if they have not yet watched the webinar, they've got to do so, because our training is fantastic. It teaches this. And I had a little bit of fun here with this little skit. So thanks for sharing your famous Sam Ovens silence. And I'm going to have to try that on my next phone call.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, you guys. So I'm sitting down with Sam Ovens in the office right now, drinking, of course, some LaCroix, which I absolutely love. If you guys haven't had it, quick little plug. It's good stuff. And I'm here to kind of ask you a few questions, Sam. I know people right now are registered for the free training, but before they get to the free training, I want to ask you a real big question, which is, out of all the different ways to make money out there, all the different opportunities, why did you choose consulting?
Sure. So really for me, the most important thing when you're starting your first business is speed. So how fast can you get it set up, and how fast can you actually make money? Because when you're going to start out with your first business or as an entrepreneur, you can only survive for so long without making money. You need to buy food, you need to rent, you need money to live. So why I like consulting is you don't have to build a big fancy product or software, or buy a warehouse full of products to drop ship or anything like that. You can get started just boom, immediately with just a cell phone and a laptop, because you're just selling yourself as a service to help other people.
Awesome. So on your website, one of the big features is that you have over 3,000 video testimonials. And I'm going to be honest and tell my followers here, I've never seen that anywhere, literally anywhere. Over 3,000 people have submitted video sort of evidence, if you will. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical when I see that, because how do you get 3,000 people to do anything, let alone leave a video testimonial? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to fly out here and see this all in person myself. So I guess my question is, like, how much did you have to pay these people to do testimonials? I mean, and is it real? Are these guys just actors? I mean, be honest. I need to know.
Yeah, well, none of them are actors. They're all customers, because the only people who could submit them were customers. And, you know, the reason why I wanted to do it is, just like you said, no one's done it before. And really the most important thing about any training, any product, is what is it going to do for the customer? It's not about me and what car I drive and, you know, like how much money I make. It's more about the results that the people are going to get. So I looked at the market and saw, you know, all these gurus mostly talk about themselves. So I was like, what if I don't say anything and I let my customers speak instead? And so I just wanted to do something different. And it led me to, you know, going and collecting all of those testimonials. And the reason I was able to get 3,000 of them is because, you know, I've been doing the same thing for a long time. Like, I've been doing consulting for about 6 years now and showing people how to start a consulting business. So I've accumulated a lot of customers over that time. I think we've got 11,500 customers in total. And because I've been teaching them the same, you know, principles for so long, they've also had a lot of time to get results. So, you know, a lot of programs, they teach you one thing and then they teach you a different thing real quickly, and they haven't done one thing long enough to get people results. So, you know, I've just done the same thing for a long time and helped a lot of people, and that's how I was able to get them.
Awesome. So without having to view like all 3,000 testimonials, are there a few, like, do you have favorites? Do you have a few that stand out? Do you have any testimonials right now that are some that you like to share of some of your students?
Yeah, well, the ones that always stand out to me are the strange ones, right? The peculiar ones. So we've got like Hunter Otis, who teaches, he's a porn addiction consultant. So he teaches people who are addicted to porn to not be addicted to porn. So he's probably my favorite one because it's the most outrageous one. And he has a 6-figure business doing that. And then my second favorite one would probably be Brittany Brown, and she helps women who have binge eating issues become free of binge eating. And that's another cool one. And the third one that stands out would be Andrew Argue, and his is a more traditional niche. He helps people become accountants and grow their accounting firms. But he's my most successful student, and he makes around $1 million a month. And so he's making 8 figures from the training. Crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know that I was skimming through, and you actually have it where you can go on the website and you can search literally all these different testimonials by all these different features. It's awesome. And a lot of my audience probably thinks that this is just for advanced people who are, you know, very, very sophisticated, really great at sales, already have a business. But I guess my question is this something that is a good training for absolute beginners? People are looking to start a business from scratch.
Yeah, so it's designed, like the complete training is designed assuming you know nothing about business. So you can attend this webinar, you don't need to know anything about business, have gone to college and done business or anything like that. It's going to show you, you know, step by step exactly what you need to do if you're starting from scratch. But in saying that, you know, even if you are already in business, there's still a ton you can pick up on.
So Sam, I know your time's busy. I know you just got back from a family vacation, and thank you so much for being willing to meet with me and my followers, and I look forward to diving into this training.
Just do it.
Awesome. All right, you guys, so I've shown you the inside of consulting.com headquarters. Now it's time to go to Sam Oven's personal residence, a penthouse down here in Midtown, overlooking beautiful views, the city, the water, you name it. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna drill him on several questions about his course, about his program, his students, his results, and so much more. Questions that you guys have been submitting, asking all about consulting.com, his entire program. I'm gonna sit down and drill him. We're gonna get those answers. Plus, we're gonna take you on a tour of his house. You guys cannot wait to see what he's got inside of there. All kinds of cool exotic artifacts, furniture, you name it, plus more LaCroix. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go into his building. What's up, Sam?
How's it going?
Thanks for having me over.
No problem. Come in. Welcome to my apartment.
Nice, nice. Let's show me around, man. What you got here?
Sure. So, you've checked out the office, but this is now my house. This is where I live, and it's in Midtown, New York. So we got some pretty good views out here. And then over here we've got like the main lounge living area, and then over here we've got my home office. So you checked out my the consulting.com head office, and I work there probably 1 to 2 days a week with the team. Mm-hmm. And then when I need to get stuff done and really focus, I like to work here because there's not many distractions.
Plus the views are awesome.
Yeah, there's that too. The office doesn't have as good a views as this. And there's balconies on both sides. And then this through here is probably my most favorite piece of art. And it's a custom Harley motorcycle.
This is awesome.
Yeah. And then, the thing I like most about this place is probably, it's got to be like the natural light that comes in, because it just soaks you the whole day and it gives you energy. You're working inside, but you don't feel like you're inside.
This chair is epic right here.
Yeah, so that chair's like at least 600 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Chinese emperor's chair.
Wow.
And then, I've got a pretty big book collection here. If you check this out.
All labeled psychology, finance, marketing, economics, relationships, philosophy. This is dope.
Yes, I do a lot of reading. That's where I learn most of my things, and it really helps me relax as well. And then if you come through here, through that side of the apartment, we've got Rhett's like room and bathroom and everything. So he's my personal trainer. He lives in here, keeps me fit. And then through here, we've got kitchen area, it's a little dining room area. And then we're back here and at the office.
And these views too, right? Like, check out these views. Nice. Pepsi Cola building over there.
Mm-hmm.
This bridge, do you know what bridge this is?
I don't know.
Cool, well let's sit down. I told my audience that I would ask you some of the questions that they've had. Let's sit down, let's get right down to it. Whoa. All right, Sam, your place is awesome, man. I mean, the office, now you got your home, beautiful penthouse, we're overlooking New York here. But as I promised my followers, I want to sit down, and I've actually got a bunch of questions on my phone right here. What I'd love to do is just kind of read you some questions off the cuff and just answer authentically. I might push a little bit further and ask some more, but I've got a lot of people that really love your program but want to know more details. They want to get into specifics. So if you don't mind, I'd love to just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first and foremost, most of my audience is beginners. So people are wondering how they can get started choosing a niche to be able to get involved in consulting. You mentioned all these things like beating binge eating, or this other person that handles people with porn addictions. Well, it sounds like you have to be like a therapist or a psychologist or good at it. What about somebody who's just a beginner, doesn't even know where to get started in the course? Are they gonna get some help with being able to pick something they can have confidence to consult with?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say like 95% of the people who join do not know what they're going to be consulting on. First of all, like most people, I think they believe that they have to have their niche picked, have all of these skills ready to go, and be able to help people and have everything dialed in before they even join the program. But that isn't the case, and that's not what the program's for. I mean, the program shows you how to pick your niche and how to craft your offer. That's a bulk of the program, and so I'd say 95% of people join without that, and we help them figure that out. And a big concern a lot of people have is, I don't know what my niche would be. Mm-hmm. And, that's something that we have to go through a process, and it can take a bit of time. It's not something you can do just boom immediately on the webinar. A lot of people can figure it out on the webinar, but, the bulk of people, we do have to go through the process. And then in terms of crafting an offer and actually having something to sell to people, the way I teach that in the program is totally different to how most people think. So most people think that they've got to have the skills first, and then they join the program, and the program shows them how to make a business out of it. But I assume that nobody has any skills and they don't know what their niche is. And the way that people have kind of been conditioned is to think that, you go to university, you learn all of these skills, and then you go out and get a job, or then you start a consulting business or something. But that's actually the backwards way to do it. And the way I teach it in the Consulting Accelerator program is market backwards instead of skills forward. So we get them to look at the market first. So we'll pick a niche, and to pick their niche, we're pretty much just looking at something they're interested in. And they don't have to think about whether they can actually help them or anything like that, just have an interest in it. Once we do that, then we look at that market, we analyze it, we talk to them, and we ask them questions and things, and we're trying to uncover what their most painful problem is. We're looking for a widespread issue that all of these niche participants share and have in common. And once we identify that, then we want to ask ourselves the question, well, can we solve this for them? Can we help them solve that problem? And if we can, awesome. If we can't, then we want to look at, well, can we learn how to solve that problem for them? And so, the way to do it is, a lot of people panic and they think, oh, I've got to have the skills to help this person. But the most important thing is identifying a problem, because skills are easy to learn. Learning isn't the issue. It's knowing what to learn that is the issue. And that's what the program helps people to do. So I'd say most people come into it with no niche, no offer, no skills. They find their niche, they find the problem, they reverse engineer it to know what to learn, what to offer, and that's what the course does. It does all of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I was looking on your website, and one of the cool things that you've done is that you've actually organized all these different niches based on your students, because you have over 3,000 videos, and it looks like you've literally created an archive such as health and wellness, marketing and e-commerce, education, coaching, financial, legal, real estate, art. Regardless of what it is, somebody could just kind of go through this, even small business, and they could go click on one of these and they can go listen to like 20 or 30 or 50 testimonials of people in those niches. So if they need ideas or brainstorming, they could literally go to your site and see what lots of other students are doing, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that would give them a good indication of what people have chosen, but that should never be the basis of what they're going to choose for themselves. Because the worst thing to do is choose what to do based off what other people are doing. This business is about you. And so this program is really about discovering what you're interested in, and then going out and finding the market's problems and aligning your interests with their problems and acquiring the skills to solve it. Because when you do that, your business is going to be unique, and it's not going to be fighting to compete in a red ocean of sharks. It's going to be a blue ocean. You're going to be differentiated and out with a unique offer, and that helps significantly in business. And it's also way more fun, and it feels way more like you, because it's a proper business that's based around what you're interested in. So yeah, I'd recommend look at the testimonials to see what people are doing, but never base your business off that.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, you're looking to cash in on your passion. Try to find something that you're passionate about, because if you're passionate, it's going to not feel so much like work. It's going to feel like something you want to do every single day. So let's say that somebody went through your course and they chose a niche and they were able to get leads, using your entire system. So the whole system's there, the whole process is there. Well, how do they determine how much to charge? Like, I know that you have a method in there that you're going to teach on how much somebody should charge. I mean, should they start really small and just charge like $100 just to try to get a sale? Or should they be firm and stick to a good price? What's your idea on pricing?
Yeah, so my view on pricing is that you want to price on value instead of costs. So we're not selling like tons of barley or hops or copper. Or, we're not selling commodities. We're selling solutions to problems. And so what we want to do is we want to look at, if this person has this problem and then it's fixed, how much is that worth to them to have that problem solved? And then a good rule that we use is price on 10% of value. So if you help someone save or make an additional 10 grand, then a good price could be 1,000. And that's a good sort of rule of thumb. It doesn't have to be exact and mathematical, but you always want to think like that and price on value instead of costs. And also I say to everyone in the program that you want to make sure that you're charging at least 2 grand for your services. 2 grand a month or 2 grand. And if that price isn't feasible for the thing that you're offering, then it means that you should find a more painful problem. Typically, there's a lot of problems out there. They are not scarce. I mean, everyone is riddled with problems in their day and life, all of them, all over the planet. So problems aren't scarce, And there are definitely enough of them that people are willing to pay $2,000 to solve. So you want to make sure that you pick a problem that isn't trivial and that isn't just a minor sort of irritation. You want it to be a real fundamental problem for this niche that they're willing to pay $2,000 for. And because to really make the business work and not have to have a ton of clients and all of that, $2,000 is a good number. You know, you only need about 5 of them to be making $10,000 a month, like $120,000 a year, and it's pretty easy to acquire 5 clients and manage them. But as soon as you start doing it on $100, you know the economics kind of blow up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like when you charge a little bit less, like $100, you have to get so many customers to be able to make it worth it. Now you're managing and fulfilling so many customers. You've like literally like 100 customers just to be able to make $10,000 instead of 5 customers to make $10,000. So I know exactly what you mean. And when it comes to pricing, you said that you price based on value, not necessarily the cost of something. So this is interesting because when I first started consulting, I didn't know, so I just based on whatever I thought I could get from the customer, but I was accepting small amounts of money and working very, very hard. Something that I saw, and you covered this in the webinar too, but something I've seen about you is that if you can get on the phone and identify a problem, you could ask that person, how much money would it be worth to you to solve this problem? Like how much could you make in your business, right? So maybe there's a problem that's costing them, they're losing like $100,000 of potential income, or they could be making $500,000 a month more, or a year more, whatever that number is. Obviously they know, you don't. So if you ask them questions, they'll let you know how valuable, what the value of that problem being solved is, and then you can come back and, like you said, 10%. So even though you might just be charging $2,000, if somebody shares their problems with you, they might be willing to pay you $5,000 or $10,000 to solve those problems. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's what people are willing to pay, but you know, in the way I teach people how to do consulting and everything, I'm all for just giving someone a really awesome deal and having my pricing uniform across everyone. So not like, you know, you can extract way more money from this person because they're more wealthy from this than you could from this person, but I prefer to really keep everything the same, and if someone gets more value from it than someone else, I mean, that's just awesome for them, because it makes your business more uniform and it makes it easier to run. And quite often when people create, you know, a bespoke offer for someone else and they say, oh, this will be $10,000 a month or whatever, they offer all these other services on top of it to make it custom for this person, and then their business ends up too complicated because now they don't have a homogeneous offer across their client base. They've got a couple of things here, one random thing here, another random, and then it's too complex all of a sudden. The key to building a business is to keep a uniform offer there. So it doesn't matter who you sign up, this is what you're going to do for them and this is what they can expect at this price. Because then you're selling like a productized service instead of a totally bespoke service.
No, that's powerful. That's actually great advice. So if somebody's just getting started and they don't have a niche, your course is going to teach them how to be able to find a niche and something that they're passionate about, how to have a system to be able to get leads, close sales and everything, and then how to be able to create a uniformed price to be able to make things very, very simple. And that's something I find even in my own businesses that have been difficult, where I've had multiple different things I'm doing, multiple different prices, all these different things, and then trying to myself to remember. And then also when you end up charging a lot more, like you said, you throw in more things, I have actually fallen victim to that myself. Like I'm actually here not only asking these questions on behalf of my followers and my students, but also like literally learning a lot myself, because the times that I did have a uniformed offer, it took less brain power. I just knew exactly what I was selling. I knew exactly what they were getting. I could speak with confidence. And then when you get a few clients paying you that price, you got testimonials of that exact service for that exact price.
Yeah.
So now if you try to charge a bunch more, those testimonials aren't the same. So that's fantastic advice. I love it. Another thing with my followers is that they're not all here in the United States. So one of the problems is that a lot of businesses and a lot of ideas are very, very US specific. For example, like real estate. You know, a lot of people want to get involved in real estate. Well, real estate law in the United States is very different than Canada or the United Kingdom or New Zealand or Ireland or whatever. So with consulting, is that the case too, where like this is pretty much a US based business, or is consulting something that could be done even for all my followers that are all over the world in different countries?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, like I started consulting from New Zealand because I'm from New Zealand, and I started consulting there, and there's only 4 million people in that country, right? And I was able to not only do consulting there and get clients, but I was able to scale it up to more than $1 million a year in New Zealand. And I have other students who have done it in New Zealand too. And to the point where they're making more than $1 million a year with it. So, you know, in a country with a population of 4 million, it works up to a point of that. And then with our customers, we've got customers in 76 different countries right now. And current enrollment, like for 2018, 2017, 70% of our customers were outside of America. So because I'm from New Zealand, I have a view of the world instead of a view of America. Like a lot of Americans just have a view of America because they haven't seen beyond. But from day one, this has been an international thing. And I actually think that if people are in other countries, this program is actually more of a weapon for them than it is for people in the United States. Because the methods that are in the program, they're powerful enough to work in America, which is a really competitive marketplace. And if you take a strategy that can win in America and you apply it in Switzerland or Sweden or New Zealand or Australia, it's way, way, way ahead of what everyone else is applying there. And that's what I found when I was starting out in business. If I learned my knowledge from America, applied it back home in New Zealand, I just obliterated the market because they were doing local strategies. I was learning the best from over here. So it absolutely does work, and I actually believe that it works better overseas.
Wow. So not only does it work overseas, so anybody that's international, this is a great opportunity, but even people that are, let's say, in the United States, they can actually have a business here, but they could be selling in anywhere in the country. Like I could be here in the United States with my own consulting business, but selling to clients in the United Kingdom, in London, in Switzerland, in all of these different countries. I could just like run ads in those countries, or I could go on social media, I could target people, have them go through the same funnel, be able to accept payment and work with people anywhere in the world actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's always best to start with your immediate country, just because of time zones and things like that. So, you know, I live in America, so obviously it works in America. And some of our best success stories are from America too. But you can target anyone, anywhere, provided they speak the same language as you. So you're only really limited by the English language. Or if you know multiple languages, then those, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's keep going. So let's say that somebody right now is on the fence and they want to join this program. They have the money to be able to join, but one objection I hear a lot of people say is, how much money do they need after joining? So let's say somebody today decides, you know what, I've heard enough, I'm ready, I want to join. Do they need additional money to be able to go out there right now? And what's a realistic like ballpark budget that somebody should have set aside to be able to kickstart their consulting business?
Yeah, so honestly, they need zero, because the methods we teach, we teach kind of like a ramp up process. So to get your first few clients, you don't need to run Facebook ads. We actually discourage that because you're not going to know what to put in the ad and you don't even know if this thing's going to work, and so it's silly. Like all great things start organically and they start small, and they start without complex funnels, websites, designs, logos, and all of these things. Typically when you start with that stuff, you screw it up. It's best to start from simple. So we say that, you know, all you need is your niche and your offer, and then you can start using organic methods first. And organic is methods that you can use for free, and they're simple. You don't need to be a tech expert or anything. So we provide people with 5 organic methods that they can use immediately to get clients, attract them, and close them for free. I mean, obviously you're going to have your internet bill. If you don't have a computer, you'll probably need a computer. But I'm assuming people have an internet connection, a computer, and a phone, right? You need those things, but on top of that, $0 to get started. And then once you've got your first sort of 1 to 3 clients and you're making money, then we recommend kind of stepping up to the next level, which is when you create your website, and then you create, and we provide a template to do that. So, you know, you can just download this template and create your website using that, and your funnel, and we provide you a template to do that as well. And then we set up an automated scheduling system so people can schedule a call with you and a survey and things like that. So we start to look at the technology and that sort of stuff once you're making money, and then we run ads to that too, and ads cost money. and no one wants to be spending money without making money. I mean, that's not a good thing. And that's how we do it. So we get people to start with free, simple methods and then graduate to the paid methods.
That's cool, because I had some people thinking that in order to get started, that they needed to have these auto scheduling programs all set up, they needed to have their ad campaigns built, they needed to have autoresponders pre-written, emails written, and all these things. But you're saying that's all cool stuff, and you'll get to it when you want to scale your business. But you can start right now with free traffic methods and literally just booking out a few consulting gigs, get some money first, and then once you're getting money, reinvest some of the profits back. You can live on some, reinvest some back in. For instance, getting together your webpage, getting a few ads up, getting an auto scheduling program and a funnel of all stuff that's covered inside of the course as well. But it's cool. You can make money first and then reinvest it back into the system.
Yes, that's not only what you can do, but that's actually what we recommend.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd, if I saw someone working on the technology and ads first, I'd slap them, because that's a surefire way to mess it up. You're focusing on the wrong thing. If you can't close someone organically, then you're not going to be able to get them with paid ads. Paid ads is just a way to accelerate what's going on in an organic way.
Yeah, that makes sense. You wouldn't want to scale, just like an ad, you wouldn't want to scale an ad that's not performing. So you wouldn't want to scale a business that's not performing. You'd want to get the business
all your scaling is your losses.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to scale losses. You just lose more money.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So start them off basically making money, following a basic system, and then get that a little bit more advanced and scale as you go. Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons that I've actually talked to also, so you know, with several of your students. I've been like kind of interviewing them on the side, talking to them, learning more about what they love about this program, and also, I hope you don't mind, but I'm asking if there's anything they hate about the program too. I like to get like a full unbiased, review. So one of the things that they said that they love is a very systematized approach. So it's like they're not just like coming in and like, there's not a lot of guesswork as to what to do. You're saying just start by doing this, 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 this. Even like you said, you would get upset if somebody skipped a step and didn't set their business up to start making money first. You'd be a little upset if they jumped straight into spending money and trying to scale that. I like that. And is that one of the reasons, would you say that the fact that you've developed a step-by-step system, is that one of the core reasons as to why so many people are having success? And let me say one step further, like what percentage of people are having success? Because I know you track all your numbers, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Yeah, so first of all, the reason why I make it step-by-step and all mechanical like that is because I want to know with absolute certainty that the only way someone can fail with the program is if they don't do it or they give up without finishing it. I want to have it so that if someone does what's in that course, it works. So the only way it can fail is by user error, like a good machine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a good machine, like what's an example? Like a MacBook Pro. You pick it up, you don't know how to use it, you don't use it, you don't get your value, but that's your fault. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to build a product or a machine as a course that worked like this. So the only way it couldn't work and the only way you couldn't get value from it is if you didn't use it. And that's pretty much what we've been able to create over 5-6 years by constantly honing and refining it. And then the second part of your question was the success rate. So first of all, it depends how you define success. A lot of like university defines success by graduating. Mm-hmm. But we define success by getting a paying client, at least one of them, that is paying you at least $2,000. So that's how we define it. And our success rate, so the percentage of people who buy and get one client worth at least $2,000 is 24%. But you have to keep in mind, like first of all, that's extremely high, mm-hmm. but you have to keep in mind that a lot of people don't even do the course. So, and it's not because they don't like it or they don't think it won't work. It's just because people buy things and don't use them. Look at treadmills and iPads, iPods, and things. People buy them, they like them, they want to have them, but they don't use them. Doesn't mean that they're dissatisfied. Just haven't gotten around to it. So, it's 24% of total users who get one client worth that. And then in terms of if we look at just the people who have actually done the course, so people who have taken action, implemented it, and got a client, then the numbers totally change, and we're looking at like 90%, 95%.
Jeez. Because
there is no way you can follow those steps and not have a client. It's just, the only way you'd fail is if you gave up or didn't do it. And that's the only issue, really.
So if somebody got started today, like when you're talking about these results and stuff like this, if somebody literally said, okay, I'm in, let's do it, I'm willing to give it a shot, I'll start today. What is the typical turnaround time for them to expect to start to see some of their first results?
So this varies wildly depending on how much they know and all of that, right? So if someone already knows a bit of stuff about business or selling, or they've had a career in something and they already know what their niche and offer is going to be, I mean, those people we see people get clients in their first few days, first week, all the time. But those people have some sort of prior experience. I would say the people who have no prior experience at all, like they don't even know how business works, I mean, typically those people are going to be around 1 to 2 months. And a lot of that is learning the very basics of it, like what is a lead, right? How does a business work? How do we collect payments from people? And how do I make calls to people? Like, there's so many fundamental things that they have to learn, and we teach them how to do all of that. But I would say the shortest time frame we see a week, the longest time frame we see would be like 6 months, and that would be someone who's very busy and has a lot on, and they can only do a little bit each week. I mean, the real answer is it depends on what your situation is and how much time you can commit to getting stuff done and implemented.
So if they were to go through your course, roughly how long does it take to get through your course? Like, how many videos are there? How long is the course? Like, kind of I know you've already covered this in the webinar, but let's recap that a little bit so people have an idea when they join today, like what they're going to get and how they're going to be able to go through it.
Sure. So I'll explain what someone will have learned and completed it each week.
Okay.
Because this isn't a course where someone goes and does the whole course and then does something. Because, this isn't university, right? We spend 3 years learning and then go and do it. We're taking action immediately along the way. So in the very first week, week 1, you're going to pick your niche. You're going to be able to pick a niche that you're passionate about or interested in, and then you're going to be able to do research on that niche, find out what their problems are, and then identify a common widespread problem, and then work out how you can solve that problem for them and come up with a price point for it, and conceptually, build your consulting business. So this is my niche, this is my offer, this is my message, this is who I'm selling to, this is how I'm providing value and helping them in their life, and this is how much I'm going to charge, and this is how it's going to work. We do all of that in the first 7 days.
Awesome.
Then in the second week, week 2, we look at mindset. So what I learned, I've been teaching people how to start consulting businesses for 6 years now, and I had to teach myself how to do it too. And I had a huge psychological issue with it, because I'm introverted and shy and I knew nothing about business at all. And so the biggest obstacle for me was, I knew what to do, but my issue was I couldn't get myself to do it. Because I had to talk to people on the phone, I had to face rejection, I had to approach strangers, I had to believe in myself, I had to charge people money, and there was, people have issues with that, especially when they're not confident, outgoing people from the beginning. And that's most people, by the way. Most people aren't confident and aren't just willing to go out there and just make stuff happen. And so what I realized for myself is I had to really rewire my brain and work out why I was afraid of things and work out how to basically rewire all of that so that I had no problem doing these things. And then I thought that was just my issue and that I was kind of strange and needed help with that. But then when I started to teach other people how to do it, that was their big blocker too. They knew what to do, they had identified a niche and a problem, they knew what to offer to them, they had everything ready, but they just couldn't act. They're kind of paralyzed. And so I decided to start teaching them mindset stuff too. So in week 2, we go through all the mindset stuff, and our key objective there is to understand that where you are in life right now is your own doing. So nobody else did it. It's not from any external thing. You did it. So you are responsible for the results you've got now, and you're going to be responsible for the results you're going to get in the future. And we really give people an extreme amount of personal accountability. And once we give people that, it's kind of like an awakening. And then we look at who they are now and how they would define themselves, and then who they really want to be in the future. And we look at designing really a different character, a different identity. So we design it out kind of like we're writing out like a movie character thing. Like, this is how he's going to look, this is how he's going to talk, and all of that. And then we work on consciously growing into a new character. Because I've found that, to become successful, you have to become a person who's successful. And if you're not successful right now, it's not just doing a bunch of business stuff. You've got to change as a person. You've got to change your character, your habits, your actions, all of that. And we really master that in week 2. And if you listen to a lot of the testimonial videos, a lot of them say mindset. And that's week 2, and that's the work we do there. And then in the 3rd week, we show you the organic methods. No, actually, we show you the sales script first. So we show you the exact scripts that I use to close people over the phone with one phone call. And the reason why we show it really early on is because people can start using that pretty much immediately. And they can start talking to people on the phone in the 3rd week. So that's day 15. They can be using the sales script. I show them how I use it, examples of me using the script, and the script they can follow. And the script is customizable, so you can personalize it to yourself. And we send them a printed copy of it too, and a digital copy. And they're going to know immediately what to say on the phone when they have someone on the phone. And the script is really powerful. We've taken people who know nothing about business or selling, have never sold anything before, and get them to close at a pretty decent rate. And then we also provide people the ability to partner up with someone else in the course to practice the script. Because I noticed that people would learn the script and then still not have the confidence to apply it. So we simulate it. We let them partner up with others, and at the start they say, all right, I'm a newbie at this, so be easy on me with the objections. And they'll role play. And then they level up like the difficulty of the objections, practicing with other members, and that totally changed the game. Students' results just went as soon as we started letting them simulate with each other. So we do all of that in week 3. Then week 4, we give them 5 organic methods to get clients. So that's 5 things that they can use right away that are free to attract clients. Attract a total stranger and turn them into a paying customer worth at least $2,000. Then in week 4, we look at the appointment generating machine, which is a funnel and a website that we use to pretty much automate the process of taking someone from Facebook and getting them to watch a video, schedule a call with us in our calendar, and then complete a survey. So we automate that process in week 4. And not only do I show you what to do, but I give you the templates. So you can install the website with one click, install the funnel with one click. And it's really easy to do. You don't need to have any tech skills or anything. And then week 5, we go into Facebook ads. And just in week 5, there's 24 hours of training on Facebook ads. So just one of these weeks in any week is probably longer than most courses. And it's not that you have to watch all of that content, it's just that there's no detail, there's no stone left unturned. There won't be a single thing in there that is missed. So there's no way that you can get caught unless you give up. And then week 6 is just really showing them how they can scale to that next level. So I don't want to just show people how to get one client. Getting one client's great. You get one client paying you $2,000. That's cool, but that's not going to change your life. You can't quit your job with one client paying you $2,000, and you can't change your life with one client paying you $2,000. So I show people how to scale to 6 figures in week 6.
So literally, you're going to take them from week 1 all the way through week 6, a 6-week program, so like 42 days, roughly, based on what you just shared. And you're going to take them and help them to be able to develop a niche, be able to put together your whole entire system, give them the mindset to be able to overcome any limiting beliefs, give them the resources like advertising resources, funnel resources, all the different resources and training, teach them how to get their first clients, and then teach them how to scale to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 10 to as many clients as they could possibly get. And you're going to get them at least $2,000 per client is going to be that base that you're going to teach. So someone could go through your course inside of 6 weeks, and they could literally be equipped with a turnkey business that they can run from anywhere in the world with their laptop or their phone And when they're reinvesting, even investing in some automation there to be able to run from anywhere in the world where prospects are contacting them, wanting more information, wanting strategy, wanting consulting help, and all they got to do is pick a niche and then figure out a way to be able to offer that customer a solution, offer them a service. Now, is that also, I know you touched on it briefly, I think you said that's covered in module 1 and maybe a little bit more, but is that also something you dive into? So like if somebody joins today, they go, okay, I have a niche, there's something I really like. Do you also help them figure out what it is that they're actually offering the client for that 2,000? Like do you help dive into what the offer is?
Yes, that's what I refer to as the offer. And how we do that is we look at the niche, find out their problem, and then our offer is a solution to that problem. And if they already possess the skills to provide that offer, awesome. But if they don't, it's not an issue. We show them how they can quickly acquire those skills to solve that issue, or find someone who does possess the skills to solve it and use them instead. So yeah, we get all of that done in week 1. Those are like the foundations and the fundamentals.
That's awesome. So like you said, there's no stone left unturned. So when it comes to Facebook advertising, just your Facebook module, just that week, is more valuable than most Facebook courses as a standalone course. And there's Facebook courses selling for thousands and thousands of dollars on their own. So literally when you put together the value of what you have here, that this is something that could be selling for $20,000, right? But you've got it all packaged nice and bundled because like you said, you like to have consistent pricing, consistent packaging for all your offers. You've done the same thing with your course. So even though you could be charging 5 times or 10 times more for the course, you'd rather just produce 5 times or 10 times the value, more value for each customer. And that's what I love what you're doing right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the most dangerous competitor in any market is someone who radically improves value and drops price at the same time. You just cannot catch that person. Usually when people make something better, they charge more. My view is that I want to make it better and make it cheaper at the same time. And when you do that, you just can't beat that person. So that's my view on it, and that's why I want to do it. And I also teach my clients, do that too, because then your clients are going to be happy. They're going to give you testimonials. That was part of the reason why I have 3,000 of them. And they're also going to tell other people about it. And then also, if you ever have other things to sell, they're going to buy them. So long term, thinking long term, you're going to make way more money and be the king of your niche if you think like that.
So when people purchase this program today and they join today, I know they get your entire course, and I stacked it with some bonuses on my end because anytime I promote something, I want to give them something extra. I love people that take massive action. I love rewarding action. So you've got your offer. We've got some extra bonuses on this for them as well. So when they purchase today, when they join, are they going to get immediate access? How often are these modules released? And tell us a little bit more about, like, you've explained what's in each module. When they join today, like, how do they get it? Is it all digital? Do they do some in person? Like, how do they get their training? How fast is it delivered to them?
Sure. So as soon as they purchase it, they have immediate access, and they can get started with the training immediately, and start. And that's not just learning; that's taking action and learning immediately on day 1. So that all happens immediately. We also ship out a physical box with training materials, and that box set takes like 7 to 14 days, depending on where you live in the world, to ship that thing to you. But you don't need that to start. But we send that out to you so that you can have like a physical copy too. Because a lot of people, they like to learn by reading a physical book and completing physical worksheets instead of just digital. But you can use either or. And then the content, we drip it out to you 1 week at a time because we want people to follow the process in sequential order. Like, we've interviewed our customers that are successful, and we ask them, like, what's your number 1 piece of advice for other people in the program? And they're like, just do it in order. So we try and force people to do it in order. However, there are people who are slightly more advanced and they are ready to just jump straight into like the Facebook training or the funnel. And if that's the case, those people can email us our support and we'll unlock the whole program for them. So yeah, we encourage people to follow it, but if you don't need to, we'll unlock the whole thing.
Got it. Well, that's good, because by following it, you're giving them literally a step-by-step order and a process, and it's better for people when they follow that order and that process. But for those that are like, the kind of people that excel in school faster and they just learn a lot faster than the average person, they have a way to be able to fast-track the whole course. So it doesn't have to take 42 days. If I'm a fast learner, I could go through your whole program in, let's say, 7 days maybe, if that's the speed at which I can do it.
Yeah.
And maybe if I already have, so people that maybe already have experience, like they've maybe purchased courses before, they've gone to industry events, they've been doing this for a long time, studying, but they haven't yet made money. That's the perfect type of person for this program as well, because they've already got knowledge, they just haven't figured out how to be able to make their first dollars with it, or enough money to be able to quit their job. It sounds like that's a really good target market for this program. Is people that have been, buying programs and doing this and that, nothing's working. It's because it's kind of chaotic out there. There's, they're learning a little bit of everything all over the place, whereas you've just kind of dialed in and become great at the one thing, building a step-by-step A to Z blueprint for people to follow, to build their own consulting business and get a steady stream of clients paying at least $2,000 each. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, there's an exact roadmap to how to do that works, and that's basically what they're getting. And I mean, it's not just like it works for beginners who know nothing about business, but also a lot of the people that join, a lot of them, are making money already with their business, or they've got a business that they like and they want to keep, but they want to start a little consulting piece on the side. Or a lot of people have 9-to-5 jobs and they want to do a consulting business on the side, and then when that grows, they might consider quitting. I mean, it works for a lot of people, even existing consultants who are already making like 6 figures. There's still a lot to learn in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm sitting here with Sam, and we're going through the course, not only on desktop and mobile, but also through the box. And we figured let's go ahead and invite you along with us. So Sam, you've done an amazing job with your course. And what I want to do right now is I want to figure out like 2 things. One, how are you different from all the other courses out there? I mean, people constantly create courses. Like, how is the Consulting Accelerator different? And then number 2, can you share with us kind of behind the scenes, take us through it and show us what it's all about?
Sure thing. So, I mean, the program it's a 6-week online course that shows you how to start your own consulting business and get your first client within 42 days. And the most important thing about the program is that it works and it gets people results in an actual business that makes money. But, how it really helps people achieve that is, I mean, first of all, we've got the online part of the course. This is 6 weeks, shows you everything from scratch, how to start your own business. And, through here, all of the videos are super high quality. I mean, I couldn't find a training platform or a portal that could do what I wanted it to do or was quality enough. So we built our own one. Wow. And so far, to put this thing together, it's cost us more than $2 million.
Wow, you've spent over $2 million building a platform just for your customers to have a better user experience.
I've got a 10-person development team just to make my own platform.
That's awesome.
And so it works perfect on desktop, works perfect on iPad, and it works on your phone too. And I know a lot of people, if they've still got a job, I mean, they're on the train, on the bus, they're on the car, they're walking to work. They don't have the luxury of just being at their computer all day to watch training. So we give them the training in video form, which they can watch. They can even speed it up in here. We also give people the full transcript. So if they prefer to read, they can just read the transcript. And we also give them the MP3 here, which they can listen to as an audio, and they can even adjust the speed there. And so this can work. You can turn the screen off and just listen to the audio when you're walking around. And so it works perfect on mobile, desktop. We also give people access to the mastermind group, which is a Facebook group with about 10,000 people in it. Mm-hmm. And, really to get this course to this level, I still don't think it's perfect, so I'm not going to say perfection, but, I'm striving to get it there. But it's taken 6 years, and I've built this thing probably 16 times. So every year, I rip it down, build it from scratch. And so it's gotten pretty good over the years, and that's mostly how it's been able to get people the results that it has.
Yeah, and you clearly care about the user experience. That's important to you, to have a really clean, sleek user experience for everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, if people find something difficult to use, then their chances of using it are lower. Mm-hmm. And people need to use this to get results. So if I want to help my people get results, then I need to make it as nice and as easy to use as possible. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people overlook this stuff. They think it's small or it doesn't matter. I mean, I try to make everything as really frictionless as possible. And so we can pretty much shut this thing up now, and let's look at the box.
Let's do it. Let's dive into the box. I'm excited. Nobody's doing this. This is a high quality box. I don't know if they could tell in the video, but this is heavy. I can barely lift it up like that. This is a heavy box. How much does this thing weigh? Do you know?
Probably about 12 kg.
Yeah.
I don't know how much stone or pounds that is.
Yeah, but this is easily like, I mean, I don't know, 25 something
be
pounds, 30
pounds.
pounds, you know, and it's just very, very nice. You know, it's a clean box, and kind of open it up and look at how much stuff you get in here. So I know we're limited on time, but would you mind going through like each item here and telling us what your vision was behind creating these and how they're helpful to each customer that goes through your program?
Sure. So like I said, the main thing for me that I'm trying to do is help my customers get clients and start a business. And so the more ways that they can learn, then the higher the chance of them getting customers is. And a lot of people, you know, they prefer to read books. They might want to listen to an MP3. They might want to read the transcript. So we give people every different way to consume the content so people can do it in a way that best suits them. We're not forcing them to just do this one thing. And I'll walk you through each one of these things in here. But to start with, we've got like the core content. So just the content of this course, which is the 6 weeks, it doesn't even fit in one book. So this is weeks, I mean, this says part 1,
And
part 2.
yeah.
So this is weeks 1, 2, 3, and this is weeks 4, 5, 6. And you can see like how thick that is.
Yeah,
And
it's high quality. This is like seriously high. This is very, very high quality. You could have gone a lot cheaper, but you wanted to go good quality for everybody.
yeah, well, I mean, when you make it good, people leave it on their desk. And when it's on their desk, it's in sight. And when it's in sight, it's in mind. So when it's in mind, they've got more chance of doing it. And when they've got more chance of doing it, they've more chance of getting results.
That makes
So,
sense.
you know, every little thing, when you really obsess over it, I mean, it really helps people get results. And I'll show you what it looks like inside these things. I mean, you just start. So the course, what's important to mention is that, you know, you can just use the digital platform. Like, you can go through the entire thing just on your computer or on your phone. You could go through the entire thing just on the books without touching the digital course. You know, they really all are the same thing, but there's different ways of learning. And so here we can see, you know, the table of contents. We've got week 1, week 2, week 3, then every module within each week. And then if we go to, you know, week 1, you can see that this isn't just a book. It's got the slides and the text. So it's not like a lot of people, they'll just transcribe their videos and just dump the transcript in here. This is edited by a professional editor. Like, this isn't just the transcript. It's made with the slides.
Yeah, this is high quality. Like, I bet there's a lot of people that just love going through this. I mean, reading your course like a book. You've essentially created like this masterful book that they can go watch videos. You got video, you got audio, you got transcriptions that they can read digitally, and then you've got an entire book which is like transcribed and written into a very readable fashion. You've got all these different ways they can consume your content. It's great.
Yep.
This is good.
And so you can see, like, you know, this, I always like to say I left no stone unturned. So a lot of courses, and I know that they do this because I experienced the pain when I was learning and buying courses, is there's always holes. You know, there's always something which they leave out that you stumble on because you need that piece and you can't wrap your head around it, but it's not in the course. And so my dream and goal was to make the like ultimate course, which just it had no holes in it. And so really it doesn't matter if you don't know anything about business, you're starting from scratch, you know, just provided you can understand English, this will show you how to start your own business from scratch.
Now, how much extra do customers have to pay for the books and for the shipping of the books when they buy your course?
0.
So it's 0. Like, they don't even there's not like a just pay shipping and handling. Literally. So if they join your course, they get everything we're seeing here absolutely free delivered to their house.
Yep. And just to put it in perspective, it cost me $100 to ship it to some people. Just the shipping.
So you're literally just taking a $100 hit, which you don't have to do, literally just to make sure that your customers are more likely to go through your program, which is probably why you're getting such high results. Because you're giving them no excuses.
So we include free shipping anywhere in the world. So even if you're in Dubai, even if you're in Iceland, it's shipped to you for free.
That's crazy.
And these things cost a fortune to make as well.
This is high quality, and nobody's doing this at all.
And to be honest, I know why, because this was a real pain in the ass.
Oh, I bet. Just to create it all, to map out what's going in here, to find the box. So just this alone, if we just take these two right here, There's the entire course right there, 6 modules broken into 2 big old books right here. They're like 450 to 500 pages each inside here, all the slides and everything. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. You got a lot more in this box. What else do we got inside here?
Sure. So that's the core content, and then these are basically tools to help go through the content. So the first one's just a simple notebook called the Alchemy Notebook, and this is just modeled off a moleskin notebook. Nothing too fancy here. It's just lined pages, and this is so when you're going through the program, you can just take notes. You can use this, to do anything you use a notebook for.
But it's a nice branded notebook. It's like goes with the set, so it allows you to be able to keep everything structured and keep everything uniformed, which goes along with your course as well. You want people to be more uniformed with everything they do. So they should be taking notes here if they can.
And then we've got the planner, and this really came about. I really scratched my own itch with this thing. So when I was running my consulting business, the way I run it, I always had, I'd use like one type of planner and a moleskin notebook, and it would annoy me that it just didn't have these different things in it. So I really made one for myself to do consulting the way I do it, which is how I teach people how to do it. So this is really the perfect day planner as you're going through the program.
Oh, wow.
And the cool thing is, first of all, this thing never expires because you write the date in. And so if you wait a few days before you use it again, it's not like you just wasted all those pages, you just write it in. And then it starts out with saying, I'm grateful for 3 things in the morning. What would make today great? 3 things. You do that first thing in the morning. And then today's priorities. What are you going to get done? What are your current projects? And then your schedule from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Exactly what are you going to be doing? I tell all of my students to plan tomorrow, today. So every night before you go to bed, you're supposed to plan the next day. When you wake up in the morning, you do these 2. And then you get to work executing on this. And then you've got your KPIs and metrics. So how many sales did you make today? How many strategy session calls did you do? Like, what did you do to generate more leads? What did you do to deliver your services to clients? And then training, if you just did training today, like how many hours of training did you do? What did you get done? And then mindset work. What did you do to work on your mindset? This just keeps you like focused on the things that are going to move the needle. If you're doing anything in these areas, you're moving forward. If you can't put what you're doing here, then you're not moving forward. So it's pretty simple. And then at the end of the day, we get you to review yourself. What were today's wins and how are you going to improve for the next day? And so, you can go through the course with the online version on your computer, on your phone. You've got the Facebook groups. You've got a whole network of friends to go through it with. You've got the Q&A calls, which we run every single week, 2 of them for life. And we've got customer support 24/7. And you've got this and all this. So it's like a whole life.
Yeah, so tell me about these Q&A calls. So I know we're going through the box right now, but every single week, you said twice a week? Twice a week, 2 times a week, people can call in, customers can call in and get questions answered about the course. What kind of questions can they ask every single week?
Anything
they want. They can ask about consulting. They could talk about a client that they have. Literally, there's just Q&A calls. Everybody can call in.
Well, they can just talk about emotionally what's holding them back, which is a very common one. They're like, I've just got some resistance, or my girlfriend doesn't believe me. Like, it's not just pure cold business stuff. A lot of the time the questions are about life. Like, how do I fit consulting in with my family, my partner? I mean, you can ask anything. Yeah.
That's cool, but you give them a place to be able to feel like welcomed, like a family, where they can share everything.
Yeah, because even the best instruction manual in the world, some people are going to have questions. All right? So I've tried to make the best course I possibly can, but everyone's still going to have questions. And there needs to be a place to ask questions and get answers. And so we've got the Facebook group, the 2 Q&A calls. We record all of them. We've got over 1,000 hours of recorded Q&A calls that are all transcribed and searchable, all in that portal too. So we archive everything, and you can search too. So if you want to find one specific thing immediately, you don't have to flick through all of the stuff. You can just type in a keyword, bam, you'll find it in like 2 seconds. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you encourage people every single day to come in here, write what they're grateful for and what they want to do today to make today great. Go focus on their priorities, their projects, map out their schedule for the day, focus on their key performance indicators, different metrics like their sales and strategy calls, and then every day wrap up with an end-of-day review. And even if they miss a couple days, that's okay. Pick up when you can, get back through it. And this whole entire book, if somebody's really followed through, is going to be filled with income producing activities and motivation and positivity.
This is really a diagnosing tool for if someone isn't getting results. Like if they're like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm in the course, but I'm not getting any results. I don't have any clients. Right? That's an emotion. That's not a fact. So we need ways to go and diagnose their problem. All right? You're not getting clients. So now we need to know why. The first place we'll go is this. Have you been doing this? No. So like if someone hasn't been doing this, they probably haven't been doing the work. Well, have you done the work? No. I mean, how can you not do anything and expect to get something, right?
Yeah.
So this is a way to keep people accountable and to be able to, for people to fact check themselves. You know, if you're not getting clients, if you're not making money, look at this and see what's been going in each day. If there hasn't been good stuff going into this, nothing's going to come out. But if things go into this, I mean, the result's going to come out.
Well, I can relate because as an entrepreneur, I've had times where I've worked like 20 hours in a single day. But in reality, it felt like I worked 20 hours because my mind never stopped running. I was always thinking of ideas. I was brainstorming. I was doing all this stuff. But the actual amount of hours that I actually worked on income producing activities was like 1 or 2. So what happens is I'm tired. I feel fatigued. I'm working because you can't shut off your mind if you're an entrepreneur. But in reality, if I actually held myself accountable, I really only did like an hour or 2 of anything actual productive. And all the rest of the hours was just spent like just feeling overwhelmed with everything and feeling like I'm going. So something like this can keep you on track, keep you focused, keep you disciplined, and hold you accountable.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's, so what do we have here? This is pretty cool, like a little binder you can put stuff in.
Yeah, so week 2 of the program's mindset. So how to basically rewire your brain and become a completely different person. And so really why we gave people this is they go through week 2 and then they create their mindset pack. We give them like a template and they fill it all out online. And then we encourage them to print it out. But then so people do it every day. We recommend that people first thing in the morning, they get out their mindset pack and read it. It's showing them who they want to become, what their goals are, and it's just repetition. They're just looking at it every day so that they don't forget what they want. Because humans, they forget what they want and then they wonder why they don't have it and then they're always confused. So if you figure out truly what you want, write it down and then look at it every day, you don't forget. And so we give people this so that they can put their mindset document in this. So they print it out, put it in, and then that way it's got a special case on it and they can put it somewhere where they're not going to forget it, and it just improves their chances of doing it every day.
Sure. And again, some people think mindset is like wishy-washy, but in your experience, not only your own personal experience, but also in the experience of a lot of your customers, it's actually turned out to be one of the biggest obstacles that prevents people from being successful. That's why you focus so much on it in the course. Now, the course is also very, very detailed. I mean, entire modules on Facebook advertising and lead generation and funnels and automation and strategy calls and scripts. And there's plenty of details in there, but you went ahead and took enough time to also focus on mindset early on to be able to make sure that people don't have any limiting beliefs holding them back. And I could tell even when you're putting this together that that's a huge part. Like this daily journal, you included opportunity to be able to put in what you're grateful for and what you want to see make happen for the day. That's mindset. That's like personal development. It's like every single day you are slowly but surely growing into the type of person that can handle a successful business and you don't even realize it, right? That's what I've experienced, one of the biggest setbacks. So, but when did you know that personal development was going to be so critical to the success of your students?
Well, first of all, I knew it was my limitation because I tried starting out to be an entrepreneur and make money. I learned everything that I could, and I actually knew what to do and I knew what actions I needed to take to achieve what I wanted to achieve, but I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't really even get the courage to wake up and get out of bed. Like I just wanted to sleep in and kind of shut off and not take any action. I was kind of like paralyzed. And it's because I'm introverted or shy and didn't have any belief in myself or anything like that. And I just thought I was weird and I just had some issues. So I never even said anything about that. I managed to get through it. It's very hard. But then I noticed when I started teaching other people how to do it, they were kind of coming up against these blockages too. And I was like, oh wow, maybe some of them are like facing issues that I used to face. So I showed it to people on like a Q&A call and they just loved it. And then I was like, all right, maybe I should put 1 hour of mindset in the course. Put 1 hour in one of the earlier versions. People loved it. Then they said this was the one thing that was the best part of the course. So I was like, all right, next time around I'll make it 2 hours. Made it even better. again, people raved about it. So on this latest version of the course, I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to go all out on mindset because it's got evidence that this thing helps. And it's currently like 16 hours of mindset. And now this mindset in this course is like full blown. And it's the best it's ever been because it is such a crucial part of the process. It's, you know, it's like the same in sports. I mean, all you need to do is look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. They say that, you know, the game is half physical and they work on their body and they eat good food and stuff. But the other half of it, 50%, is all psychological. You know, if you don't believe that you're a winner, if you don't believe you can win, like, doesn't matter how muscly you are, how fit, you're out. And so it's not all woo-woo and all of this. Every athlete you ever watch their documentaries, they'll say it's part psychological, part factual. And same in business. You need to know what to do and everything, but the psychological parts of it are just as important. So that's why we focus on it and we don't leave it out. What I've noticed is a lot of personal development stuff is just all about the personal development stuff, but they don't tell you what to do to make money. And then a lot of courses, they tell you what to do to make money, but they don't have the personal development stuff. So I wanted to really synthesize and bring together the two pieces and put them into one thing. And it's worked really well.
Yeah, I love it. And you mentioned something a minute ago, and we had a conversation about this earlier, which is you're naturally very, very skeptical. And this is something I find fascinating because a lot of people that are watching are also probably skeptical. I think most people in general, especially when it comes to like buying programs or going through courses, you know, we put up a guard because there's a lot of like scammers and fake or people out there that are just out to make a buck. And what's interesting is that I'm very open-minded and very optimistic, right? And you're very like really more skeptical and you need to like see proof of things. And I want to touch on that really quick because I find it fascinating and I think it's important for people to know that like even when you go to review a course or when you go to buy something, you need to see like all the evidence in front of you to be able to help you make an educated decision, a smart decision. And even then, you barely believe it. It takes a lot to be able to get you to believe something. So when you were creating this course, it's interesting because you came from that mindset that, you know, you've got to put together all the documentation, you've got to put together all the resources, you've really got to go all out because you're also appealing to skeptical people like yourself. So, you know, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about that, about like your personality and like how you don't necessarily believe things just when you see them and what you did different with consulting.com to be able to help overcome skeptics, to be able to show them that there really is proof and validation here.
Sure. So in my mind, everybody is lying until proven not. Because the thing about lying is a lot of people don't even know that they're lying.
Yeah.
So they could truly think that they're telling the truth, but it's wrong. So I've just learned, and this is not just about other people, but me too. Like a lot of the things I fall for are lies that I personally believe, right? So I just know that those are the worst trip-ups in life and in business when you're sure of something, absolutely sure, and then it turns out not to be true. You know what I mean? So everything's assumed wrong until proven otherwise. Even my own thoughts. If I have a thought that I think is going to be great, I need to see evidence before I even believe that it's great. And it's just a great way to live because, you know, it protects your downside. You don't buy into things because someone woos you or shows you something fancy. I mean, you know, you're much more rational about it. And so when I built my course, I wanted to build it almost like a legal case. So like, I'm putting together all of the facts to prove that this thing works. Like the 3,000 testimonials, all video documented, all searchable, all online, and then calculating how much money people actually made by surveying them and you know, creating every single step in a process so that the only way someone can't succeed with this is if it's user error, and the only user error somebody can make is not doing it or giving up. So if someone does it and doesn't give up, there is absolutely no way that they're not going to make money. They'll make money.
As evidenced by all the success that your students have had. So when you built this out, you built it out in a way. I like that you said a legal case. It's kind of like you're presenting a well thought out case. You can't just make stuff up. You're not just going to make up a number and say, oh yeah, like half the people are having success. You know, you're going to go in and like you said, you're going to go and you're going to poll all the members. You're going to extract data. When I was at your office, you actually have people that are just in charge of data. Like you were going and asking for feedback and data from people, and they go and they're your like data scientists. They go and they present all this data to you, present all the facts, and you go, okay, here's our total number of customers. Here's the number of testimonials that have been submitted and verified and videos. Here's the total amount of income from the polls back. And you're taking these numbers, you're doing percentages, you're doing it very, very logically. A lot of people in our industry just make it up because who's going to hold them accountable? You know, they can just kind of say whatever they want because they're just out to make money. I like that because of your skeptical nature, you're naturally going to treat this as though a skeptic was looking at it and saying, what would a skeptic want to see? A skeptic would want to see cold, hard proof, facts, details, statistics, numbers, data, things to actually back up what's real. And what's crazy is that your numbers now are so large, it seems unreal, but those are actually just all verified numbers. Like, I was even saying the wrong numbers. I think I said somewhere like all of your students combined had like $100 million in total revenue generated, and you looked at me and you're like, no, there's more. Like, what's the current number?
400 million.
400
and that was
million.
when we took, this was only from the people who submitted testimonials and reported it.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's people who don't submit testimonials and are making money, right? So we're not counting any of that, only what people actually reported in video testimonial, testifying to it. And that was at March last year, and now we're at March this year. So that's not including the whole year that's just been.
Wow.
So it's probably a lot more than that. But I can say with 100% that is what was made at that point last year.
Yeah, that's crazy. Over 3,000 video testimonials, over 400 million combined student results. It's not like one student doing 400 million. Over 400 million in combined student results. Some students obviously are going to earn no money. There's some people that you're just not going to be able to help no matter what. Some people are maybe going to earn a little bit of money, maybe get their first sale, make the course reimbursed, but they still have to work a job because they didn't make enough. Some people are going to go on and make enough money to maybe quit their job and actually be a full-time work-from-home consultant. And then you've got some people that are going to go on and make 6 figures, 7 figures, and I think you said you even have some people that have made as much as 7 figures in a single month.
There's one guy that makes 8 figures a year.
There's one guy that makes 8 figures a year.
His name's
crazy.
Andrew Argue, and his website's andrewargue.com. You can look at it. He helps people become accountants, and he helps people who are already accountants scale up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his niche, and he's well known in that niche, and he makes roughly $1 million a month.
Crazy.
And he started with me only like 2 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah. He's the only one that's making 8 figures, just to be transparent about that.
But it's an amazing story. I love hearing success stories like that. Because even if the person watching right now, it's not realistic that they're going to go do $10 million plus with their business. But it's cool to know that somebody else has done it, because when somebody else has done it, it tells you like what's possible. Like the first person to break the 4-minute mile. As soon as somebody broke that mile, then suddenly everybody else started breaking it afterwards, because suddenly they knew what was possible. So where there was a limiting belief before, when somebody else proves that it can be done, it kind of like boosts your spirits, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And there's probably a bunch of people watching right now. It's like, if I put myself in a position of being a young entrepreneur, like back when I was first getting started, regardless of age, just early in my entrepreneurial career, I would be so excited because I would want these books on my desk, even if it was a crappy little home desk in my garage. It wouldn't matter, right? You started out of a garage. Mm-hmm. You didn't start with this fancy view and stuff like this. So even if I had this sitting there, I would feel successful. You did this in a way that I would feel like, you know what? I'm running a business that can do 6 figures. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to journal this stuff. I'm going to go through and I'm going to treat it serious. I'm going to go through this course, because a lot of people just buy a bunch of courses, but if they get yours, they can follow step 1, step 2, step 3, go through the 6 weeks, go through the course, build their own consulting business, and just follow the blueprint, follow the scripts, and start making money. Once they make money, then they can do the other things that they want to do. Like if people right now are struggling, they can make money with your course, and it can enrich their lives. People always talk about like getting a new car, getting a new house, stuff like that, but that's temporary and fleeting. That'll make them happy for a minute. It'll solve some basic necessity problems. But I think there's more fulfillment in just knowing that when you learn these skills, then you're forever equipped with the ability to make money from anywhere in the world with your laptop and your phone. Like, business could go wrong, you could lose a job, you could do whatever, and you've got something right here in front of you, a timeless business. People are still going to have problems that need solutions a decade from now, even 100 years from now. So you kept everything timeless, very principle-based. Even if Facebook advertising changes, well, whatever the new advertising platform is, you just plug and play, And I'm sure you update your course for it. So I would highly encourage anybody watching right now, get your hands on these books. Get your hands on, literally, you can watch this from your desktop, your mobile, you can read it, you can listen to it, you can visually watch it, you can go through the actual books, you can hold them in your hands, you can go through the slides, you can take notes, you can journal, you can put your calendar together, you can go through personal development, and you can go through training. You've really thought of it all here. And one of the things I liked most that you said is that instead of raising the price each time that you added more, you kept that price low. And so all you've done is you've just kept adding more and more and more value. So if anything, people know that whatever they're buying today, that this value is just going to keep going up because that's your track record. You truly, obviously care about the success of your students. And I admire that, which is why I really felt like it was a solid promotion. I don't promote a lot of stuff, rarely ever. And that's why I've done a lot of research, dug in, and I love what you're doing here. And I endorse this program. I highly encourage anybody watching, make a decision to join this program while it's still open. Okay, do not pass the window. Do not miss out on the bonuses. Take massive action. You will not be let down. I don't know what else you need to see. He's really done it all here. The rest of what you need to see is inside the course, actually going through it for yourself, being the next case study, and ringing that bell inside the Facebook group. So I just want to say props, man. I've thought about doing this for some of my courses. This is not easy. This could take me like months just to put together.
Like, it's great for the customer, but it sucks for you to put it together. But it's worth it. I don't regret it one bit. And it was challenging, but I mean, seeing other people get it, when they get it, they always take a photo of them with it and post it in the Facebook group.
Awesome.
And tons of people even say, you know, my partner didn't support me, but now that she sees these books, she's all in.
Oh.
So it's like a lot of people don't believe something's real until it's physical.
Yeah.
And so by doing this, it really makes it more of a reality for people.
And I admire the fact that you chose to do this without charging them extra, because you really easily could have just said, hey, just pay for shipping and handling, and then charged as much as it costs to make this. That way you're not losing any money. That's what a traditional business owner would do. They wouldn't be willing to take losses on, but you're sitting here forking out at least $100 per customer, which is thousands of customers. Hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in this, and you're holding inventory of it, and it's time to ship them and do all of that. You're taking all that on, and you're not charging a single dime more. When they join today, they literally get this as a bonus.
Yep, even if they live in Iceland or Dubai, shipping is free.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know what else to say, you guys. Like, literally, if you've been watching this, hands down, flat out, join this program. I would not have flown all the way out here, done so much research, interviewed so many students, put together such a good bonus package, would not have taken all the time out of my schedule or Sam's schedule if I really did not believe in this. And I can encourage you guys right now, stop what you're doing and join this program. Be the next person ringing the bell. Be the next person getting the results. I will show you how it fits in with everything I'm doing. I'm not trying to take you on some shiny object road, right? I'm trying to figure out what is the real stuff out there. Who's really getting results? I don't want to just go promote a course because I can make money. I went out and researched a bunch of stuff to figure out this is literally the best course in the industry for this niche. There is no better consulting course. And in fact, go show me any other course or program out there that has 3,000 video testimonials from customers. Like, go show me anything. I've been in this industry for a while. I don't think I've ever seen that, ever. I was scrolling down the page, and after I got into like the thousands, I like stopped because it's just so many testimonials. It's crazy.
Your browser will break before you get to the end.
Your browser will break. And there's no way I'm going to top what Sam's doing here. I can't create this myself. This would take me years and millions.
You could. It would just probably take like 5 years.
5 years and 5 million, at least.
Yeah, well, our total expenses up to this point would be past 20 million. Well, including advertising and stuff, but
of course.
That's what you need to get all the customers, and you need the customers to go through to learn what things need to be fixed.
Yeah.
So it's not just the time. You need a ton of people to do the course to see where they get tripped up so that you can find those points and then fix them. So that's really what makes this good, is I've watched people go through it for so long, and I've watched them succeed, and I've watched them get stuck. And when I see someone succeed, I'm like, what did they do in the course? And then I try and force the other people to do what they did. And then I look at what people failed, like how they got tripped up or how they got disheartened or wanted to quit. And I see what they did, and I try and get them to do less of that, more of that. And I've just been iterating this thing again. It's been the only thing on my mind for 6 years. And, you know, I've worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, every week for 6 years to build this.
Wow. So even if I had 6 years, 10 million plus the knowledge and the desire to build all this, on top of that, you would need the laser focus that you have. You have such good focus that there's been one thing that you've chosen to master over the last 6 years, and that has been consulting. First, doing it yourself, being a student of the process, and then creating and refining the process every single year, tearing it down, building it back up, looking at results and figuring out what's going to make your students as successful as you. That's powerful. So there's nobody else that can come close to this, you guys. That's why I came all the way out here. That's why I flew out here this week. That's why I've been interviewing students, been interviewing Sam, been showing you everything. So I highly encourage you, just take action. There's nothing else you need to see. Take action. Join this program. I will show you how to integrate it with everything else. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, we're going to be doing some ongoing continuing education on how to fit consulting into your life, into your business. But go through this. Sam is the master when it comes to teaching you this selling system that's turning out results like clockwork. Wait till you get in the Facebook group and you see every single day average ordinary people ringing the bell, talking about how they just made a $2,000 sale, you know, over and over and over and over and over and over. It's like it happens so much. On one hand, it's almost annoying, but it's annoying in an exciting way, because it's like when you see that many people succeeding, you know that this works. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters, right? If you're going to invest in something, you need to know that you can get at least one sale to be able to reimburse your money, and you need to see that the success from the students, that's what's going to inspire you. That's what's going to give you your own belief that you can do this, and that's exactly what's happening in this organization. So again, Sam, you've taken so much time out of your schedule for my people, which is amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. I love this. I love every single thing about what you're putting together. You know, do you have any final words for the people right now that are getting ready to come on board? I'm sure a lot of people right now are saying, okay, I'm in. Got any welcoming words, or if anybody's on the fence, got any final words to share with them?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is only the beginning. This course, as far as I'm concerned, it's only going to get way better. This is just scratching the surface. So I update it pretty much every year, and I constantly am looking to improve this thing. So this isn't done. Like, this is only going to get better and exponentially better. And for all the past members, we always give them the ability to upgrade to the new one, so that they're constantly, you know, getting the latest version of what's currently working. So, I mean, people might be impressed that this is good, but I mean, it's only going to get better from here. And that's what you're in for when you join. I mean, you're going to be taken care of for life, or as long as I'm alive.
That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for taking the time. Thanks, Sam, for making your time. Get your hands on these books, you guys, and make a great collection in your office. But most importantly, go through them, read them. There's gold in here, but you got to take action. It's up to you.